Headliner Nation, what's going on? Kyle back here to talk about maybe my most anticipated matchup of the weekend. And that is the Cleveland Browns going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Inter-division rivals meeting in the first round of the playoffs. And boy, I tell you what, we were super excited about the Browns last year on this channel. Didn't really come to fruition. To see them bounce back this year and perform the way they did, well, as we like to say here, kind of gave us full chub. Would love to see the Cleveland Browns continue their great season, but will they be able to do it? Let's talk about this matchup right now. And first off, take a look at some of the key missing people in this game. Not players, but people. And really not injuries, but we're going to be missing a couple of guys to COVID. And the most important one here is going to be Kevin Stefanski. The Browns' first playoff game since Jesus himself graced this world. Kevin Stefanski is going to be missing it, and that is tough to swallow. I mean, you can see it a couple of weeks ago when the Detroit Lions were missing their head coach and several of their players. Things can get a little bit crazy. You know, a lot of teams have had contingency plans in place this year, but sometimes it just doesn't help. And missing your head coach, a guy that has been so critical to this organization turning things around, that has brought such just a game plan that has fit every single one of his players better than you can imagine. To be missing him in this big-time playoff game on Sunday, it's going to hurt. But how much is it going to hurt? Again, we've got another game fairly healthy. Steelers won't be missing anybody to injuries this week. They'll be fully ready to go. That's going to make it a great game. What if you want to play some DFS? Well, if you want to play some DFS this week, obviously there will be plenty of excellent options for the Browns. Mayfield, Chubb, Landry, Higgins, all of these guys are going to be available. Now, keep in mind, last week, Pittsburgh was, missing some guys. Had some guys sitting last week, knowing that not much was going to happen or change. This week is going to be a little bit different. But keep in mind that this is a Steelers team that has a secondary that can allow some big plays. And it's going to all depend on, the guy that you see there at $6,700, Nick Chubb. Is Nick Chubb going to be able to wear down that defense just enough to open up some of those big plays? Deontay Johnson at $6,200 might be the best player in this matchup if you're looking for safety and upside, a little bit of everything. It's going to be worth paying the $6,200 for Deontay Johnson, knowing very well that he is targeted more than any other player on the field. Even Juju and Claypool and Ebron, I mean, you could look at these guys if you want to. Juju, yeah, not too bad. Playing in the slot, he's a guy that could be fairly consistent. Maybe not a huge performance from him. Maybe we don't see him put together 100 yards, but he could get you 5 to 7 catches, and he could get you anywhere from about 50 to 80 yards. We've seen it before where he's had some big catch games and has not had the yards to go with it. If you're looking to hammer home, though, if you're looking for a safe pick, it's Nick Chubb. Yeah, it's a tough defense, but it's still Nick Chubb. They know that he's going to be coming at him. Every team has known that he's going to be coming at him this year, and nobody has been able to stop them yet. The offensive line is 100% healthy for the Browns, which makes a huge difference. Well, what are some of the keys to win? Baker Mayfield's going to need some time. If you're the Browns, you're going to have to give Baker Mayfield some time to work through his progressions with this defense. Now, here's another thing that this team does extremely well that catered to Baker Mayfield. It's moving him around outside of the pocket. So we have to be sure, as an offensive line, they have to be sure to keep him safe. If he's going to be rolling out, if he's going to be on the run, that's great. That doesn't mean you can just give up on the play and let guys in. You still have to keep guys from getting into the backfield. The more you keep them from getting into the backfield, the more comfortable Baker Mayfield is. The less Baker Mayfield gets hit, the better he will be throughout this game. On the defensive side of the ball, you've got to limit those big plays. We've seen it all season long from this offense, especially from guys like Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool. I mean, Chase Claypool last week, they were looking his way. They wanted to see some big plays out of him. The Browns are going to have to figure that out. They're going to have to limit, especially Chase Claypool, if they want to win this game. Because we saw it when they played Baltimore a few weeks ago, right? I mean, they were in it the entire time. And then all of a sudden we get to this point where they just can't stop the big plays. All these big plays happening at the end of the game. Lamar Jackson throwing all over them. You know, Ben Roethlisberger is going to be able to do that with this offense, so they're going to have to limit it. Now, the one thing that we've seen more from the Steelers offense recently is a lot of these plays where they're getting the ball out quickly. If that's the case, the defense has to swarm. What about the Steelers? Well, you can't drop any passes, and this is a team that has been very, very bad with dropped passes this year. You can't do that. You cannot win this playoff game if you're going to be dropping passes and not being able to take advantage of the opportunity presented. Because if you're dropping passes, the only thing that's going to do is going to get that defense even more fired up. And then, of course, you got to slow down Myles Garrett. You cannot let him be all over Ben Roethlisberger. And I just said a second ago how you do that. And that's getting out the ball as quick as possible. And that's where the defense for Cleveland could really come into play here and give them a chance. If Myles Garrett is in the backfield continuously, that's going to be less time for Roethlisberger to throw the ball. And if he has less time to throw the ball, they're going to have to be looking at these little nitpick plays where they're just moving the ball down the field, and then every once in a while where they take that shot. The less shots they take, the better for the Cleveland Browns. So, Myles Garrett, Pittsburgh, if you want to win this game, you got to keep him out of the backfield. So what's our thoughts here? What's our predictions? It's unfortunate, everybody, but we're both going with Pittsburgh this week. And I think Jake and I are kind of in agreement that losing Kevin Stefanski this week is an issue. It's a big issue for both of us. This is a team that has a head coach, again, that has brought an amazing game plan every single week that they've played. He has been a guy who has ignited this team by putting people in positions to win and playing to everybody's talent. He's not going to be there to kind of help throughout the game change things up. And that's the biggest thing that you got to do against Pittsburgh is you have to be able to adapt on the fly and change your game plan if available. I don't know if I trust all the other coaches to be able to do that in this game. So it is unfortunate. I would like to root for the Browns in this game, and I will be rooting for the Browns. Nothing against you, Steeler Nation. Absolutely nothing against you. I just want to see this team come full circle and make a move into the playoffs. It could happen, but unfortunately, I don't know if it's going to happen this year. Headliner Nation, what are you thinking? Let us know down in the comments below. What is your prediction, Steelers or Browns? And why? Give us your keys to the game and why you think one of these teams or which team will be taking home the dub this week and moving on to the next round of the playoffs. Don't forget, Headliner Nation, hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, become a part of Headliner Nation. Hit that subscribe button. Stick around for more videos. And as always, if you appreciate the content, hit that like button. Ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you on the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.